And USA Today reports on the massive document leak allegedly showing how world leaders and the mega rich hide billions of dollars. The so-called Panama Papers point to people with ties to Russian President Vladimir Putin and other global leaders. The stunning revelations, are contained in an estimated 11.5 million documents that was leaked from a Panama-based law firm. They show how the ultra-wealthy and powerful create shell companies. Don Dahler is here with a leak nearly 10 times larger than Edward Snowden's. Don, good morning.
Good morning. It's not illegal to have an offshore company, but one purpose of a so-called shell company is that the money put in it can't be traced to its owner. The practice allows people to hold cash and move cash under a corporate name without international law enforcement or tax authorities knowing who it belongs to.
An anonymous source provided nearly 40 years' worth of documents from a law firm in Panama named Mossack Fonseca, which helps establish offshore bank accounts for the world's wealthiest people. The 2.6 terabytes of data handed over to journalists reportedly contains approximately 11.5 million documents, including nearly 5 million internal emails, providing a window into some 214,000 companies.
This really told us something about how the offshore financial system works, and especially about who are the kinds of people who are using it.
Michael Hudson is one of hundreds of journalists who researched the documents in what's likely the biggest leak of inside information in history.
The same system that politicians and the mega wealthy and billionaires are using to move money and do transactions is also being used by criminals, Ponzi schemers, drug kingpins, you name it, to hide their corrupt businesses.
Among the 12 current or former heads of state named in the investigations, the presidents of Ukraine and Argentina, and the King of Saudi Arabia. And while he is not named directly, the documents show allies to Russian President Vladimir Putin secretly shuffled as much as $2 billion through banks and shadow companies.
What can you tell me about a company called Vintris?
The Prime Minister of Iceland, who rose to prominence after the country's financial crisis, walked out of an interview last month when he was questioned about his ownership of a shell company that held nearly $4 million in bonds in the 3 major Icelandic banks.
Secrecy is a product that's bought and sold, and it costs money. The more secrecy you want, the more you pay.
Mossack Fonseca called the leak a crime and stressed to Agence France-Presse that we have no responsibility in how these companies were used.
They say they're like a car factory. You can't blame the car factory if a car is used to rob a bank.
Mossack Fonseca told the Guardian newspaper the parties in many of the circumstances cited are not and have never been their clients. They also said they do not foster or promote unlawful acts. There are currently no Americans named in the leaked documents, but it's unlikely that that'll last.
So what happens next?
Well, 11.5 million documents takes a long time to go through. That's why there are some names that will be revealed that have not been revealed yet, because there are journalists poring over this documentation even as we speak.
Yeah, and how many people are quaking in their boots going, boy, I hope my name doesn't show up on one of those 11 million pages.
This is such a blockbuster report. Such a blockbuster report. Don, thank you so much.